San Antonio is a rich city of history, culture, and everyone who lives here knows it. But look, San Antonio is not the place for a lot of people. Myself, I've gone and come back a few times, but I always find my way back to the Alamo City, and that's probably because of the pros. But a lot of people just aren't keeping it real with you about the cons, and that's why it's not for some people. So in this video, we are going to kick it off and talk about the pros and cons of what it's really like to live here in San Antonio, Texas right now. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Living in San Antonio, Texas channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about what it's really like to live in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to be talking about the ups and downs, everything from the left to the right, what it's like to eat here, sleep here, breathe here, play here, everything you want to know if you're thinking of making that move. If you're already living in San Antonio and you're just trying to find a new place that best fits your lifestyle, if you're not new here, then welcome on back and make sure y'all hit that like button. It's going to help anyone else that's looking for this information to be able to find these helpful videos. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and you will get notified anytime we put a video out on this channel. And look, we get so many people reaching out every single day, and we absolutely love it. And you can do the same thing too. We certainly don't want to run into each other at HEB, and this has actually happened to me before. Someone's actually said, "Hey, I've seen you before," and I looked at them, I said, "I don't know you." So make sure you're reaching out. Just send us a text, give us a call, send us an email, or drop onto our calendar and we'll do a Zoom chat. Whatever works, whatever your comfort level is, we've got your back when it comes to living in San Antonio, Texas. Birds up. Let's go ahead and kick things off with the obvious pro number one, and that is local food. Who doesn't love to eat, am I right? San Antonio is ranked number 25 in best foodie places to eat by Travel and Leisure magazine. San Antonio has delectable foods you can try on any day of the week and almost any hour of the day. The top food contender in our city is, you've guessed it, tacos. Tacos, tacos, tacos. Who doesn't love tacos, am I right? If you're craving tacos, then you've come to the right place. One of our most absolute favorite places for our family to go get tacos is Taquitos West Avenue. I'm telling you, this place is so authentic. It's simple, they use high quality ingredients, and they're lightning fast. When I say these tacos are nothing to scoff at, I'm being so darn serious. Make sure you bring your out-of-town family, your friends, and give them a whirl around town and let them try some of our best tacos in town. We can't forget to talk about barbecue. Texas barbecue. I love to eat barbecue, another city staple. With some of the best brisket the Alamo City has to offer you, I suggest stopping by the Smoke Shack and Southern Kitchen. It's located off of Broadway. They were voted recently the best barbecue in San Antonio by the locals. So one of our local favorites happens to be brisket grilled cheese. Yes, let me tell you how delicious brisket grilled cheese is. If you haven't had it, then you need to have it. Another place to check out is the 2M Smokehouse. It's located off of W.W. White Road, but you better show up early because the doors open early, and when they sell out, they close the doors. The restaurant's done. There's no more food left. Time to go. See you tomorrow. Try again. There's so many other places I could name here in the Alamo City. We could sit here for days and talk about food. So yes, the obvious pro here is the amazing food in the Alamo City. Well, let's go ahead and give you our first con, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but we have some terrible, terrible traffic. San Antonio has an astounding 1.59 million people in and around the growing city, and the infrastructure is having a really hard time keeping up with that growth. So to help alleviate the congestion in the city, since we don't have a light rail or subway system, we actually have the Via Bus Line system. It actually covers 1,208 miles across the county, and it covers 98% of Bexar County. They currently have over 525 buses, so you can pick any one of the 7 transit centers around the city, park your car, save some gas, get out of the traffic, take the park and ride for a nominal $2.50 a round trip. This helps with the congestion on the roads. People don't believe it during events such as the Spurs, UTSA, football games, and any citywide events. Now around the city, we do have several highways that loop around San Antonio, Bexar, Guadalupe, and Kendall County. Talking Interstate 10, 35, and 90, Loop 410, and Loop 1604. All these roads get you to your destination around the city. However, most of the major roads and highways are under construction, and the Alamo City is under constant construction with potholes, construction cars everywhere, and it brings on longer commute times, tons of congestion, and it actually makes your average commute time around San Antonio to be 25 minutes. Now in the summer, it does tend to lighten a bit as kids are staying home, college students are out, there's less buses on the road, parents take off vacations, and so that does come with the summertime commutes. Shifting from the cons over to pro number 2 on our list is going to be things to do in San Antonio. There's a fantastic array of things to do in the Alamo City. You'll start off by taking a stroll down the Riverwalk, try some food, some shopping, a wine bar, tequila bar, a nightclub. One of my personal favorites happens to be Boudreaux's. Make sure you try out a prickly pear margarita, or if you want to try something off the beaten path, try Waxy O'Connor's. It's a little Irish pub. Have some fish, drink some stout beer, have a good time. If you don't want to walk the Riverwalk, then you can cruise down the river on a riverboat cruise. Now, the riverboats actually will take you to areas of the Riverwalk that are not accessible by foot, so you'll see beautiful buildings filled with history, landscape, and the smells. You'll enjoy smells that make your mouth drool and your stomach growl. If that doesn't tickle you at all, then you can go ahead and take a walk back in time and try out the Alamo. When you're visiting the historic Alamo, they have interactive tours and reenactments that'll give you a taste of what it was like to live and fight at the historic siege. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, then you're in luck. Be sure to check out Brackenridge Park, the San Antonio Zoo, the Japanese Tea Gardens. There's tons of golf courses. We have Six Flags, SeaWorld, Topgolf, plenty of parks. There's so many things to do in San Antonio, you definitely won't be bored. And if that's not enough for you, if you're a cyclist, you want to enjoy a bike ride, or you want to take a jog, then be sure to check out the Greenway and the riding trails that San Antonio has built all over. They start off at the north end of the city and they go to the city center and outward. There's over 20 miles of trails for you to check out and discover and ride your bike or take a jog on. And of course, we can't forget to mention, if you're searching for things to do in San Antonio, then be sure to check out our AT&T Center and cheer on our 5-time NBA champions, the San Antonio Spurs. Now, con number 2 on our list is the weather. San Antonio gets some really bizarre weather. It usually arrives in the form of blistering wind, scorching sun, heavy rains, flooding, and on some rare occasions, tornadoes. I'm telling you, there's actually been tornadoes here. Just like in true Texas fashion, we can have all of these events in one day. I distinctly remember when we moved to San Antonio. I was 12 years old, sitting in class, we were told to go down to the basement, get under our desk, put our heads between our knees, and just wait for it to pass. I remember thinking to myself, where did my parents move me to, and why do we live in a town with tornadoes? We had just left town that had mountains, it was beautiful, and we never had to worry about a natural disaster like a tornado. So going from tornadoes to the heat, yes, I'm talking about the sweltering Texas heat. Why is it so hot here? Well, San Antonio has humid subtropical climate with hot summers, warm to cool winters. Summer temps usually hit triple digits many times throughout the summer, with occasional rainstorms to cool us off and then steam us back up. Spring tends to have more rain, and the city can receive anywhere between 25 and 35 inches of rain per year. Add the humidity to that, and you'll feel like you've been in a workout within seconds. On average, San Antonio enjoys 220 days of sunshine per year. Pro number 3 on our list may be an obvious, but I'm going to point out some of the top ranking schools available to attend in San Antonio. San Antonio is home to more than 30 colleges in the Alamo City. I'm talking about folks that really love to learn. So let's start off with my personal favorite, and I happen to be alumni class of 2012, and that's UTSA. So I might be a little biased here. So UTSA has one of the best cybersecurity programs in the nation. They have top-tier programs in arts, life sciences, music, and business. The football team is now part of Conference USA, and they just came off a smoking hot season ending at 12-2. They were ranked number 22 in the nation. Birds up. There's other prestigious schools available in the area to explore, such as top-tiered school Trinity University, Texas A&M San Antonio, Our Lady of the Lake, and St. Mary's, and Incarnate Word. We have some of the best medical training and health career schools located in the medical centers, such as UT Health and Science Center. They have the School of Dentistry, Anesthesiology, and Nursing. Con number 3 on this list is going to be the housing shortage. So there's really no way to say it, but we have a housing shortage here. With over 1,000 people moving to San Antonio on a day-to-day basis, the housing situation really got out of hand during the pandemic. With low interest rates, it gave buyers more buying power to buy bigger homes, lower monthly payments, and it drove the demand for homes to an all-time high. Homes were multiple bid situations, prices began to creep up in regards to the competition for the home. It just seemed like it was too on fire. The market was so on fire. Well, this began to push buyers now into the new home construction realm for the hopes of even becoming a homeowner. Now, as this began to happen, new home construction could not keep up with the pace of the homes being built. They were having a hard time for materials being delivered. Materials were being stolen. Then the laborers wouldn't show up. It was just everything going on became such a large problem during this time. So to alleviate the pressure, many builders went down the lane of only building spec homes. So this was to try to ease the buyer's demand. So what is a spec home, you ask? Well, a spec home is a pre-designed home built by the builder. It's sold as is and it's move-in ready. So as buyers became aware of all their options, the new home spec lists now were being pushed out up to 11 months with many home builders. The custom home builders were taking even longer than this. I heard 16 months, 18 months, 22 months, 24 months. I heard people pulling contract because they were tired of waiting for so long. The labor and the build times were just ridiculous. So at the current speed now of growth, the city is now receiving, so we're looking at 7 years to catch back up, San Antonio. 7 years of inventory of homes just to catch back up. So how does the shortage balance out? Well, the Fed's just sprang rates into the highest since 1994 this month in hopes to recalibrate this hot market. So with less buying power for many folks now, that slowdown that you're seeing is just really the market returning to normal. I mean, this is kind of how the market was before COVID happened. COVID was just, the pandemic just made this whole different situation go on. So there's still going to be a shortage of inventory out there. The market is still a seller's market. Prices are still going to be up. It's just not what you thought it's going to be, and it's not what you experienced in the last 2 years. Sticking with that same thing as pro number 4 is going to be Military City, USA. So what does that mean when I say that? Well, the Alamo City does have another nickname, and it's Military City, USA. It became known this because of the patriotic enthusiasm of the town, and San Antonio houses one of the U.S. largest military bases in one town at Joint Base San Antonio. There's actually 4 bases here in Military City, and they're scattered all around the town and under one base at JBSA. The bases are Randolph Air Force Base, Lackland Air Force Base, Fort Sam Houston, and Camp Bullis. We also have BAMC, which stands for Brooks Army Medical Center. This is the Army's largest institution of medical care and training, and it staffs over 8,000 medical professionals. And our patriotic city brings in not only active military, but veterans, retirees, even civilian employees. So the city's accommodations for Military City are all over. You'll find discounts on meals, shopping, home improvement stores, and just to say that San Antonio isn't military friendly, it would be an understatement. Thank you so much for your service. If you're a fan of being outdoors doing all of what San Antonio has to offer, you're going to agree with me when I say that con number 4 is allergies here in the city. So according to the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, they've actually ranked San Antonio as the 4th most challenging city in the US for fall allergy sufferers and 5th worst for spring allergy sufferers. So most of the country gets a break when it comes to allergies, but not San Antonio. It's year round. So in the winter, many folks start getting itchy eyes, runny, watery eyes, runny noses, and coughs. And it's not because you're sick. Most of the times it's because you have the infamous mountain cedar. So the mountain cedar is actually from the ash juniper trees, which are cedar trees, and they're all over South Texas. Now, as the season starts to change, these cedar trees actually release pollen. It's a yellow substance that gets carried by the wind. Now, as it's being carried through the wind, it actually looks like it's floating, like a floating cloud, like smoke almost, if you will, like all over the air. It's all over the city, and you can see it in parts of the hill country even. Now, when this starts happening, it starts to give off the infamous cedar fever in the city, and so you start getting really debilitating allergy symptoms. I'm talking nasal congestion, incessant sneezing a lot, watery eyes, itchy eyes, sore throats, headaches, fatigue. You're just overly exhausted. It feels like you have the flu, but you literally just are having an allergic reaction. It's
the worst. I have terrible allergies when the cedar comes out. You usually start seeing this from late December to about spring, early May, and then as we start to get the rains and stuff, it really starts to kick up all the mold and all the ragweed. And so really year round, we're just being ravaged by allergies due to all the seasonal change and all the weather changes. So it just really makes San Antonio a terrible place for allergy sufferers. So that's my number 4 on allergy suffering in San Antonio, Texas.
Let's talk about pro number 5 on our list, and that is no state taxes. So when you start living in Texas, you won't be paying any state taxes. You will see more money on those paychecks. But did you even know that the Texas Constitution actually forbids Texans from paying a state tax? So you're probably wondering, well, how does the city get money for its infrastructure and how do they maintain everything? Well, the city does need taxes, so do expect to pay a little more in sales tax and in property taxes. So the general sales tax rate in San Antonio is 8.25%. This is the result of a 2% city and a special tax rate, plus Texas has a sales tax rate of 6.25%. So let's wrap this up with con number 5 on our list, and that is crime. In 2021, San Antonio reported 8,825 violent crimes and had a crime rate of 607.25 people for every 100,000 residents. So San Antonio's crime rate is actually 1.5 times greater than the national average, and the city actually scores in the 4th percentile for the safest cities in the US. So that actually means that 96% of US cities are safer than San Antonio. It's rather shocking, I know. This is according to the San Antonio Police Department, so you can check it. So you have a 1 in 165 chance of becoming a victim of a violent crime in San Antonio. So you're probably wondering, how does crime calculated? Well, you divide the number of reported crimes by the total population, you take that result and then multiply it by 100,000, boom, you have your result. So crime did decrease from 2020 due to the pandemic, mainly for the fact that most of the folks were stuck at home. Well, I just gave you 5 pros and 5 cons of what it's really like to live here in San Antonio, keeping it real with you, letting you know what the weather's like, the food, the traffic, and all the other things you most likely will experience while you're making your move out to San Antonio, Texas. And look, if you've made it this far and you haven't already hit the like button, please do so. It's going to help anybody else help find these helpful videos. Hit the subscribe button, make the notification bell go off, and you'll get notified anytime we put out a new video on this channel. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we do get so many people reaching out to make the move. They're either thinking about making the move, determined to make the move, they're already here and trying to find a place that best fits their lifestyle. Whichever category you fall on, just go ahead and reach out to us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Whatever your method is, we've got your back when it comes to living in San Antonio. And be sure to check out our other videos. We are out in the community. We are visiting places. We're trying out foods, visiting with people, looking at the communities. We're not just always sitting here with some cool photo behind our back or anything like that. We actually are out visiting San Antonio. So do check out more videos coming up here, and we hope to see you out in San Antonio, Texas.